So, a popular subject for video game Easter eggs to reference is other video games, and it's always cool to see your favourite game pop up where you don't expect it. Take episode 96 of my video game Easter egg series, for example. In that video, we found a zombified Lara Croft, and I'm not sure about you, but I personally think that's really cool. That's why in today's video we're going to take a look at 7 video game Easter eggs that reference other video games. As always, it's one Easter egg per game to keep things fresh, and I haven't included any Dark Souls bonfires, mainly for my own sanity. Oh, and if you do go on to enjoy this video, then leaving a like is really appreciated. Anyway, without further delay, let's get started. Right, let's begin today's video with the seemingly forgotten Riders Republic. Now, if you know anything about Ubisoft and Easter eggs, you know that they love to reference their other games. I mean, you could make an entire video on the various times the Raving Rabbids have appeared in Ubisoft games. Hell, they even show up in Riders Republic. Well, ignoring the creepy rabbit-like creatures for now, the Easter egg that I wanted to share from Riders Republic actually references one of Ubisoft's more popular games. If you head to this location on the map, you can find this. So if you wait on the edge long enough, the camera will pan around your character as an eagle screeches. This is of course a reference to the synchronization points from the Assassin's Creed series. There's even a handy hay bale to cushion your landing if you decide to take a leap of faith. Now, despite not being as popular as the Sword in a Bonfire Dark Souls Easter egg, the synchronization points and leap of faith from Assassin's Creed have been referenced numerous times in video games before, including Watch Dogs Legion and Goat Simulator. Speaking of Goat Simulator, our next video game referencing Easter egg can be found in the recently released Goat Simulator 3. Now, there are numerous games referenced in Goat Simulator 3, so I was kind of spoiled for choice here, but in the end I went with the Easter egg that I felt made the most effort. On the outskirts of the map, you can find a place called Quiet Hill, which seems pretty unremarkable. However, as you approach the rest area, the atmosphere changes. Okay, so the cheery music doesn't help set the mood, but things definitely start to feel creepier. Well, if you head into the rest stop, this will happen. So in the horror corridor, you can find plenty of strange sights, including a dancing trio, a granny firing balls of yarn, and a man stuck in a toilet. The horror corridor is a reference to PT, the playable trailer for a Silent Hill game that has since been removed from the PlayStation Store because Konami are Konami. Oh, and if you do manage to survive the horror that is the horror corridor, you will unlock this spooky costume for your goat. Next up is a game that I'd be surprised if many of you have heard of. Finger Bang, All Bullets Point In, is a game where your only weapon is a handgun. Get it? Because your hand is a gun? Anyway, Finger Gun is a fast-paced shooter that sees you finger banging enemies until they die. It kind of feels like the boomer shooters of old, but not as good. Still, Finger Bang is free, so you could try it for yourself and see what you think. Anyway, the game that's referenced in Finger Bang is what the kids call a dead game. Or at least I think it is, I haven't been paying attention. Behind a secret wall, you can find this. So this Among Us character has swapped out its trademark visor for the face of a developer. Scanning the QR code found next to this abomination takes you to a profile of the dev in question, so I guess they got what they wanted. Now, some of the more experienced egg hunters among you will know that this isn't the best Among Us Easter egg found in a video game, as you could actually report a body in Internet Cafe Simulator 2.
Amogus.
Up next is a game that genuinely jump scared me. 9 Child Street is a first-person indie horror game where you play as a kid who goes to the house across the street to investigate some spooky goings-on. Now, the jump scare that scared me can actually be found at the very beginning of the game, and I want to see if it scares you too. So it should go without saying, but jump scare incoming. Anyway, now that I've made a few of you poop your pants, the video game referencing Easter egg in 9 Child Street can be found in the kid's bedroom. On the bed, you can find this. So this hat is the same hat worn by Ash Ketchum in the Pokemon series. I mean, you could argue that's an anime reference, and to be honest, you're probably right, but Pokemon is also a game series, so I'm including it here. Next up is a game that could, and already has, provide a lot of content for this channel. Jazzpunk is a game that isn't afraid to reference any number of things. In fact, it's kind of an insult if Jazzpunk doesn't reference you. That's how many nods and winks there are in this game. Now, we recently discovered a Fruit Ninja reference in Jazzpunk, and obviously Fruit Ninja is a video game. But the Easter egg that I've chosen from Jazzpunk is a reference to a 90s classic. If you approach this car, this will happen.
Fight.
Now, I'm not entirely sure what this car did to deserve such a brutal beatdown, but that's irrelevant, as this is a reference to the Street Fighter and Final Fight series, where a bonus stage would see you destroy a car. Next up is another boomer shooter wannabe, but this one is actually pretty good. Fashion Police Squad doesn't let you kill anyone, despite being a first-person shooter. Instead, you must right the fashion wrongs of various enemies. This could be making sure a suit fits properly or putting a belt on some saggy pants. Now, the Easter egg from Fashion Police Squad can be seen when fighting XX_uwu_senpai_swagman_XX, a fashionable hacker who wants to put an end to your stylish endeavours. Now, believe it or not, there are actually 3 video game references found in this boss fight. First up is this.
Let me help you practice.
So during the fight, you'll be interrupted by a codec call in reference to the Metal Gear Solid series. Bonus points for the Matrix referencing Red Pill. Next, after chipping away at Swagman's health, you'll be transported to the world of Wolfenstein 3D. And finally, after defeating the boss, this will happen. So pressing F to pay respects is a reference to this infamous scene from Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Oh, and if that wasn't enough bang for your buck, you can also find a reference to the Ugandan coffin dance meme at the results screen. So the final Easter egg for today's video references one of video game's most iconic characters. Asterix and Obelix XXL2 is full of references to video games, but perhaps the most recognisable is this guy. So this strange looking fellow is a reference to Super Mario, particularly his appearance in Super Mario Sunshine on the GameCube. So that's it. If you enjoyed this video, then leaving a like is super appreciated. If you are a fan of Easter eggs and secrets in video games, then perhaps consider subscribing, as that's what this channel is all about. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.